My girlfriend, 28F, wants to break up 'cause I, 30M, bought the wrong chocolate. I am not the oop. Oop is you, throw our Andrew the cat. My girlfriend, 28F, wants to break up 'cause I, 30M, bought the wrong chocolate. Originally posted to our relationship advice. Trigger warning. Manipulation. Less than. Original post January 13th, 2024. I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. My girlfriend and I have been together for almost 3 years now. Everything is going great and she's the love of my life. But today something weird happened. I told her I'm going to the grocery store to buy some stuff for the next few days. I asked her to send me a list on Messenger. We always do this so I don't forget anything important. I asked her multiple times if she needed anything to make sure we had everything at home and didn't have to go grocery shopping again tomorrow. She said she wanted chocolates. Fine. What flavor should I bring? Any flavor is fine. You know what I don't like, so just don't bring that. She sounded annoyed, which confused me, but I thought she was just in a bad mood. Went to the store, got all the stuff on the list, picked up some chocolates and then headed home. When I got home she asked where the chocolate was, and when I gave it to her she exploded at me. I don't like caramel. How could you get such a simple thing wrong? Why did you ask if you didn't care about the answer? You're driving me crazy and I don't want to be with you anymore. I was flabbergasted. I tried to calm her down and have a conversation, but she stormed out and slammed the door. I want to give her space, but wow. What just happened? I sometimes got her chocolates with caramel and I don't remember her saying she doesn't like them. Can someone please explain what I did wrong? How should I approach her about this? Should I just let her be upset or go and talk to her? Edit. Let me answer a few things here so it's easier to find. I asked her to write the list because she spends more time at home than I do, so I assumed she knows better what we need for the house. Some days I work 12-hour shifts and can't remember everything we need. I don't remember her explicitly saying that she hates caramel, but I will keep it in mind for next time. I didn't buy her a chocolate that she hates on purpose. I'm not a passive-aggressive person. I do chores around the house, but because she's working from home most days, she does more of the chores as well. I have to travel to work every day, so we made an agreement about the chores and she was okay with it. Yes, sometimes I forget things, but it's nothing malicious. I don't think that makes me a horrible boyfriend. I also always ask her if she wants me to get her anything. What would she like to eat? If she needs anything at all. I care about her a lot. Yes, she's on her period right now. Edit 2, because I see a lot of assumptions in the comments. She doesn't do all the housework alone. I do 40% of the chores and she does 60%. I work 10-hour shifts 6 days per week while she works 5-hour shifts 4 days per week. We agreed to split the chores this way and it works for us. I mentioned her period because people asked about it in the comments. Nobody blamed anything on her period. It was just an answer to some questions. She experiences strong PMS symptoms during most of her periods and is waiting to see a specialist about it. Unfortunately, it takes a few months to get an appointment with them. I don't remember her saying she hates caramel. She eats Snickers bars with caramel in it, so I thought she'd be okay with it, lol. I know her favorite flowers, perfume, McDonald's order, and how to make her favorite smoothies, etc. But running a business can be stressful and I can't remember everything, so I do forget small things sometimes. She also prefers to do things her own way, so I ask her multiple times about certain things to make sure she's happy. I feel like a lot of people replying to this post are projecting past bad experiences or annoyances onto our relationship. I mean, of course you can't fit a whole relationship history into one Reddit post and strangers won't know our dynamics, but I'm not sure where all this frustration and hostility is coming from. I might have come to the wrong place for advice. Thank you for the level-headed responses. I'll wait for her to calm down and come to me. Hopefully we can talk everything through. Top comments. Ad acrobatic 5971. Okay, very clearly this isn't about the chocolates. I would bet good money that this is about several things. She feels like you don't care, aren't attentive, and don't particularly make much effort. She doesn't feel listened to. And after 3 years together, dude, you really should know that she doesn't like caramel. She feels like she has to explain everything to you like you're 5 and you don't listen or do anything independently, so the fact that she couldn't even rely on you to just buy the correct chocolate without having to micromanage you over it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Bunny 690. This is her tipping point. It's not about the chocolate itself, it's what the fact you couldn't even get the right chocolate represents. You always ask for a proper list. My husband does. This drives me bloody crazy. I'm meant to know exactly what we need, but he doesn't. Why doesn't he have eyes too? Doesn't his brain remember what we need, or a simple list mentioned only 5 minutes prior? Also, 3 years and you don't remember she doesn't like caramel. She's clearly been putting up with you getting her things she doesn't like. It's not the chocolate. It's the fact you can't apply your own brain to tasks and need every tiny thing explaining, and she feels you pay her likes and wants no attention, thus the caramel time and time again. WTF immortal. As some other people said, the chocolate was just the tipping point. Mine was socks. I broke up with my ex because of the socks he bought me. He never put any effort into what I like, into what I find interesting, into what I'm into. He bought me whatever he saw, without any effort or thought. He never listened to me. I only wear black or white socks, never colored. He bought me red socks with the Pringles logo for my 18th birthday. I don't eat Pringles. I don't wear colored socks. We had been together for a year at that point. Also, I had got the exact same pair from Secret Santa at my school, and I complained about them on the phone to my boyfriend, but he didn't even pay attention to what I was saying. I guess it was my tipping point. It showed me he was never going to change. He was never going to care about me enough to even listen to me talk, let alone pay attention and remember what I actually say. There were also other issues in that relationship. I'm glad I got out of it. Now I've been with my current boyfriend for 4 years, and it's enough for me to mention something I like once, and he remembers and surprises me for special occasions. Best feeling ever. Maricopa 888. Clearly, this isn't about chocolates. There's something else behind it, and you need to find out what it is. Also, this doesn't excuse her outburst for her to react like that. She's been dealing with something, but she didn't communicate any of it to you. Communication is the key to everything in a relationship. Update January 14th, 2024. Link to the original post. I wasn't going to do an update post, but some people messaged me about it, so here it is. I waited for my girlfriend to calm down and come to me. After a few hours she did. She was crying and really apologetic. We talked about what happened. She said her PMS made her really upset and her hormones were acting up more than usual this month, making her more irritable. I told her I understood but needed some space to think, so I slept in the guest room. I understand that she can't control her PMS symptoms, but I didn't grow up in a house where slamming doors and screaming at each other was a normal thing to do when someone is frustrated. Also, her saying that she wants to break up shouldn't be a heat of the moment thing. Even though most of the comments were attacking me and making all kinds of assumptions, they also made me think about the dynamics of my relationship and the burden I take on myself. I feel like I'm doing way more in the relationship than my girlfriend. I'm carrying most of the weight on my own shoulders. I thought it was normal because I really love her and want her to be happy. But now that people have pointed out the whole mental load thing and how responsibilities should be shared, I'm starting to think I might have taken on too much. In a way, this might be the reason why she thinks she can treat me the way she did yesterday. Someone told me in the DMs that there's a fine line between being kind and being a pushover, and I sure as hell don't want to be taken advantage of because of my kindness. I'll talk to her today and see if we can figure out a way to share the responsibilities more evenly, at home and in our relationship. I'll also have to lay down more boundaries, which will be hard, but I have to do it. Thanks again for the level-headed comments and DMs. This is a repost sub IAM, not the OOP. A concept seemingly foreign to many Redditors. Just because someone is in dire need of a punching bag doesn't mean you have to volunteer. Love how the comments crucified the OOP on his first post only for it to be revealed that the girlfriend was the real problem. She was screaming and slamming doors, but obviously OOP deserved it because reasons. Something about this post is off, but I can't quite figure out what. The line of edits is longer than the original post. That's crazy. She has PMDD. It's a severe version of PMS that about 10% of women have. It's almost like a psychosis. It completely hijacks one's mind and can make you believe extreme things. I hate you. Do extreme things. I'm leaving. And freak out over the smallest things. I hate caramel. It's a neurodevelopmental disorder where the nervous system goes absolutely berserk when the hormonal levels fluctuate. It causes some areas of the brain to overfunction and others to underfunction. This is why the ability to regulate one's emotions, thoughts and behavior becomes so incredibly hard, and the smallest irritant can push you over the edge. Extreme anger is a typical symptom. So is depression, and many women even become suicidal. It doesn't have a cure and tends to get worse with age. However, many women get benefits from some birth control types, supplements and lifestyle changes. If you're reading this and you're experiencing something similar prior and during your period, please see a doctor ASAP. I have PMDD and this sounds like PMDD. I have had mild reactions, such as the time my husband's roommate said he was making cookies and I was excited for chocolate. And then I found out they were snickerdoodles and I started sobbing. I have also had 3 psychiatric emergencies in my life, and every single time I got my period the next day, I can become suicidal. Slamming doors and hurting myself are also sometimes part of the behavior. I started a mood stabilizer and that helped immensely. Let me guess. The chocolate yogurt is not the issue here. I might have come to the wrong place for advice. Yes, Reddit. This relationship is not going to last long. Her screaming, yelling, slamming the door and her other behavior is not a good sign of healthiness. Just because she experienced hormones and all doesn't excuse this behavior. Man, the Redditors in the first post really are something. This woman is doing the guy a favor by breaking up with him over something petty. I'm a woman in my 40s and I was betting it was her period before he even mentioned she was on it. I can't use hormonal birth control because it makes me completely freaking insane. I remember freaking out at my then boyfriend, now husband of 20 years. And it was the strangest thing. It was almost like an out-of-body experience. Like I was watching myself just absolutely lay into him about something idiotic. And I wanted to yell at myself, "Hey, stop being mean. I like this guy. So weird." I swear there was a BORU about a dude who was using a cream of his wife's, not knowing that it had estrogen in it. He said he used to think PMS was a myth until he found himself freaking out over completely inconsequential things. I'm always a little suspicious when they make an edit to add it pertinent information that sways the vote in their favor. This guy is such an unreliable narrator. I'd like to know that whole story from her perspective. Oop. After 3 years. I didn't know she didn't like caramel chocolate. Lol. Also oop. I feel like I do most of the work in the relationship. Oi. I knew from the title that chocolate was not the issue here. Nor is PMS the sole reason for their spat. Is oop dense or just not a reliable narrator? I wouldn't consider this concluded. He says at the end that he will take to her, so who knows what is going to happen. I figured this was going to be related to those dumbass orange peel videos lol. Sounds more like PMDD. What did you do to make her mad, Reddit? Honestly, Redditors would make great cops. Their ability excuse abuse is amazing. Even here a ton of people are insisting he's way worse than her. Definitely. Absolutely. 100% lying about something. It can't possibly be that he realized that he was taking on being her emotional punching bag when her mental illness went off. Working 60 hours a week with a long-ass commute while she WFH 20 hours a week. And still doing almost half of the chores. That's a lot to ask from anyone. He has the right to examine his relationship and realize it isn't about the caramel, but not in the way people are screaming. It's about the fact that he doesn't have to stay if she's going to flip out over chocolate and break up with him on a random Tuesday. Regardless of the reason, no one is obligated to stay with someone when their mental illness is causing them to abuse the other person. If she were struggling with addiction or having violent bipolar incidents, people would be telling him she was hurting him with her actions and he should leave. But because it's hormones, it's supposed to be okay. People have the right to leave a relationship they don't feel fulfilled in. If he examined his relationship and felt he was taking on too much, he literally can just walk away. For his own mental health. He has no obligation to stay with her other than love. And if he thinks love isn't enough to stay, then he can leave. And I hate to say it because this website pendulum swings between hating women and hating men, but this really feels like the demographic that hates men is out in force on this post. I am a little worried about the amount of people that stated they blew up and ended relationships over such minor things. In the first post he had some valid reasons and went out of his way to make sure he didn't make mistakes, and people just projected like crazy.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.